Ladies and gentlemen, someone with such passion and the courage to find a new path selected to receive the first SEA of Excellence. Please join me in welcoming this year's winner of the SEA of Excellence, Felix Finkbeiner. Congratulations from all my heart, Felix.
Great, this is amazing. I'm very happy to be able to accept this award on behalf of all the children that have participated in this project Plant for the Planet. Because of the 12.6 billion trees, I've just planted a few. But there are many, many other children that have participated and many people that have helped. And I'm very happy that so many people came together today to talk about sustainability, because that is very, very important for us children. For many politicians, sustainability is used for speeches. And for many companies, sustainability is used for their financial reports. But for many of us children, for many of us children, sustainability means our future. And we children, we see one main problem. In a few years, when we are in power, we won't be able to take the adults to account for the problems they didn't solve, as they will be dead by then. If this wasn't the case, most adults would probably act very differently. But we want you to understand how we children think. For most adults, 9/11 is the darkest day in history. At that terrible terrorist act, 3,000 people died. But every single day, 30,000 people are dying of starvation. And for us children, 12/11 is the darkest day. Since 17 years, the countries, the international community are discussing about our future at international climate conferences. And at the most recent such conference in Durban in South Africa, there was a very simple goal: to get a follow-up contract for the Kyoto Protocol, which ends this year. But instead of making a contract that starts at the beginning of next year, the countries decided that there should only be a contract in 2020. This means that in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, all countries can exhaust unlimited amounts of CO2. And this means that the promise adults have made to us children since many decades, the 2 degrees promise, is impossible to reach, and the adults broke the promise to us children. The adults did not keep their promise. But this 2 degrees promise is incredibly important. If the temperature rises by about 2.3 or 2.4 degrees, then the Greenland ice will melt, and the sea level will rise by 7 meters, and many other disasters. At the climate conference in Cancun 2 years ago, the island states stood up and said, we cannot support the 2 degrees limit, because at that time our islands will already be on the water. So they said a maximum of 1.5 degrees. But it doesn't look like this is going to happen. At our Plant for the Planet academies, we children, we learn a very simple rule. If we don't want the temperature to rise by more than 2 degrees, then we're not allowed to exhaust more than 2 tons of CO2 per person per year. And if we don't want the temperature to rise by more than 1.5 degrees, then we are only allowed to exhaust 1.5 tons of CO2 per person per year. But right now, the world's average is 5 tons. And this amount has increased by about 10% each year in the last years. So if we continue that way until 2020, we will have set the stage for 5 degrees plus. And nobody knows what 5 degrees plus means. But once, when it was 5 degrees colder, there was 2 kilometers of ice over us here. At the last climate conference in Durban, during a speech by the Canadian Environment Minister, 6 of us youth from Canada stood up and they turned around, and on the back of their shirt it said, "Turn your back to Canada." After they did that, they were thrown out of the hall and out of the conference. And just a few days later, the Canadian Environment Minister returned home. And he made a press conference and he announced that Canada will cancel the Kyoto Protocol, the only existing contract which is already ending this year. And they canceled it because according to the contract, they should have reduced their emissions by 6% compared to 1990. But they increased their emissions by 35%. And because of that, they should have had to pay 12 billion euros as a fine. But to save that money, they decided to cancel the contract. How do you think we children feel if we hear that our future is not even worth 12 billion euros? What do you think 1 or 2 billion children and youth in the world are going to do if they have no hope and they have nothing to lose because they don't see a future? What do you think our fellow children and youth all around the world will do? But it's great that we still have a lot of support from many adults. For example, here, it's great to have so many people that help us and have an award for sustainability. But at the same time, it's quite sad that we have to look for people that are sustainable. Everybody should be sustainable. Right now, we have already managed to plant 12.6 billion trees. That's 1.2% of our goal we want to reach. Of 1 trillion trees, 1,000 billion trees, that's a number with 13 digits, 12 zeros. But if we plant these trees, then they will absorb 1/4 of the CO2 emissions we exhaust. So let's work together to achieve that goal. At our booth outside, you can all pick up a chocolate. It's actually a strange story. You saw how we tried to start the Future Fee with the chocolate industry, but they didn't want to help us. So we decided, let's make our own chocolate. And and we made the chocolate the way we want all products to be, which is sustainable and, of course, fair trade. And yeah, 4 months later now, it's already in several thousand stores in Germany, and hopefully soon it will also be in many other countries. So if you want to help us, please give us your business card and put FF for Future Fee on the back. Or just give us your business card and you'll get our newsletter. That would be great. Thank you.
It's a great privilege to give you the first